Alright, so we've finished building and we're going to start taking a look. We'll start with Shrapnel here. I'll look at it in the order that I built them, but what a great set. Every single figure in here is awesome. And there is new hardware and joints in these. I'll point those out. And also go over the articulation on this first one. And for the rest, if they're the same articulation, I'll skip it. If it's different, I'll show it. But really nice. You got some yellow paint here for the waist, gray paint. I think it's Tampo detail, but you got a Decepticon logo there, red for the eyes. Here's the back. Got some detail back there. Nice looking gun on him. You can close these up and cover up his face like you can in the bug mode, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, it's a really good looking version. Now there's some new hardware on here, so I want to show that. The arms are basically the same. The torso is basically the same, but what's different is the lower body. So first, you've got a ball joint at the waist. So that allows you side to side, forward and backward, and a rotation. So you get ab crunch and ab tilt now. And I'll show you the legs. So the legs have new articulation. You have a double jointed knee, so you get the full bend out of it. So that's a new joint right there for the knee. And instead of just having a ball jointed thigh, they have a rotation here at the thigh. So this is a separate piece, and then this middle piece of the thigh is actually just floating. That's a cool design. I love that they just keep innovating and adding stuff like that. Let's just go over articulation overall. Head is on a ball joint, so it goes forward and backward, rotates around, and side to side. Like I mentioned, these go up and down. Shoulder can rotate around on a, oops. These are just clipped in here, so if you knock it off, just tab it back in. These can rotate around, go out to the side. Shoulder pads themselves can move independently on a hinge. The arms can rotate at the elbow. You have a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Wrists are on a ball joint, so it's rotating around. You can't swap out the hands for the open expressive hands. They all come with a set of open expressive hands like this. For the most part, I use these hands to do stuff like this, hold a weapon, or, if it's a seeker, I usually put the null rays out and have him, shooting his null rays, but you do have that. All of them come with that. And coming down to the waist rotation, like I mentioned, ab crunch, side to side on that ball joint. Legs kick up to there. Back to there, out to the side, rotation at the thigh to cut joint, double jointed knee, new joint there. Feet are on a ball joint, so you get side to side, forward and backward, and a rotation. So quite a bit of articulation on these little guys now. And of course, he comes with a little version of Bombshell. And he doesn't have much articulation, just this, the nose piece here. It's on a ball joint, so it goes forward and backward. You can't rotate. Good looking little bug. And he can pair with the version of Shrapnel that we got in bug mode. So we need one more for this. And we also got a kickback Galaxy version. Now their articulation is different. I'll just show you. You can see this thigh is the old style. So it's got the ball jointed thigh and single jointed knees. So I guess they're going to be updating from now on. All of the articulation will follow what we have here. So that's pretty cool. All right, next we'll take a look at Optimus Prime. So this is a new design for Optimus Prime. More svelte looking. Kind of has longer ears. Say more athletic looking. He does have these side panels. You can take those off if you don't want them, but that's kind of new. It's got some gray paint on it. Nice painted windows here. You can see the matrix through the chest, which is cool. Yellow for the lights. Autobot symbols. Yellow for the hands. Yellow for the waist. Blue down here. I think it's meant to be, more of a G1-esque but stylized version. He does come with his blaster here. He's got a little bit longer legs, so his proportions look a little less chibi. And let me bring in an original. So here is one of the very first Galaxy versions of Optimus Prime. And you can see the proportions are much more chibi. You know, it's got the big head, big lower legs, you know, small midsection. So you can see this is quite a bit taller, this Optimus. And the proportions are a little better just because it's got longer legs. So I think they're just going for a more accurate looking or realistic looking Optimus Prime. And it does look good. It does have his little backpack here. So you have kind of a plug-in backpack. I thought maybe they'd have a jetpack or something. I didn't get the chase figure. The chase figure is kind of cut right down the middle. This half being gray, this half being metallic red. So if you do get the chase figure, you'll get, you know, one of Optimus. All right, next let's take a look at Hotrod, and he looks really good. Nice yellow paint for the flame Autobot symbol there. You got details on the shoulders, on the shoulder pads, on the waist, on the abs. Very nicely detailed. I like the proportions also. He's a little bit taller in the legs, so he looks less chibi. Articulation is the same as the others that I just showed you. Does have a nice looking head sculpt. He comes with some new accessories, so I'll show you those. You get the spinning axe. Doesn't quite spin freely, but you know, that does look good. And he can, of course, fight some Sharkticons, which we'll show you in a minute. And he also gets his fishing hook, or his fishing rod, and it's got an actual fish on it. I think it's a Sharkticon. Just want to show you up close. This is a little rubbery. You can rotate it here at the end. This is hard plastic. So the fish on the end is a rubbery, but he can hold this. That looks pretty good. I was trying to see if there's a way to get him to hold this, and you can kind of do it, but then, you know, he holds it up in the air. But he can't hold his fishing rod. I just thought that was really cool that they made it so you could do this. It's kind of neat. All right, next we'll take a look at the Sharkticon, and this is the first Sharkticon we've gotten in the main line. We got a promo version. It was like a translucent alt mode version of the Sharkticon, but this is the first robot mode. Looks really good. You got all this detail, really well detailed. I'm sure they're going to reuse this. This mouth actually closes, so if you want to close it on his head, you can. So I'm sure they're going to reuse this entire upper body for the alt mode version of this guy. Even this tail, that can be reused. All they had to get rid of is this lower body section and the arms, and everything else can be reused. But nice looking head sculpt. It's got red eyes, blue for the fangs down here, blue accents here on the legs. It is more chibi, but it makes sense because he's, you know, a little Sharkticon. The tail does have a little articulation here, so that's new. Goes up and down a little bit, and it can rotate a little bit. And the mouth can close. Everything else is basically the same as standard Galaxy version articulation. But I love how this looks. And one other thing you can do with this guy is if you remove the tail from the back, you can unpeg one of the hands, and he can use this as additional weapon. So that's pretty cool. And I think it's also pretty cool that you can have Rodimus kind of battling him, you know, because he's got the little blade from that scene, so they can go to battle. All right, next we'll take a look at Sludge in both Dino and Robot mode. And they even included the googly eyes. You can take them off if you don't want it. You can just have the regular one. But I love that the attention to detail from these guys is just incredible. That looks really, really nice. Since this is all new, I'm going to go over it. You know, we don't have a alt mode like this. So the head is on a ball joint, goes up and down, and can rotate around. The neck can rotate. You can open up the mouth all the way down to there. If you have a blast effect, which I do have a jerry-rigged blast effect in some of the other ones that I've been using. Let's see if that'll fit here. Yeah, so we can still kind of jerry-rig these blast effects in the mouth. Although I'm having a little bit of trouble. Oh, there we go. So you can have him breathing fire or whatever. The neck has a ball joint, so you can go up and down, side to side, and you can rotate. And it's on the same peg that you have for the head normally for the robot modes, but pretty good. Shoulders are on a hinge so they can go in and out to the side. Rotation at the elbows. Forward bend at the elbows. Feet are on a ball joint so they go side to side, forward and backward, and can rotate. For the rear legs, there's no bend at the knee. They're just kind of fixed in this position. So you don't really have a lot of range with it just because it's fixed. It is painted beautifully. You got lots of nice painted detail on the side here. But a little bummer that this rear leg doesn't really have that much, options for articulation. Coming in the back, the tail is on a ball joint, so it goes up and down. This is painted, by the way. And it can rotate and it can go side to side. So really cool looking version of Sludge in his alt mode. And then here's the robot mode. Again, nice details on the chest. Painted details on the waist, on the legs. You got the tails on the side of the legs. That looks good. It does have the wings. They're on a hinge, so you can hinge them backwards, forward. Nice detail back here. This is like extra detail. You're not even going to notice because it's on the back, but they still did it, so I appreciate stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very good looking version. And let's bring in the others for comparison. It's very satisfying to complete this set. So now we have all of the Dinobots in robot mode. And I think Swoop is the only one that came with 2 guns. This is a special version of Grimlock that lights up. So he came with a sword, and he's from the... forgot the name of the light up ones, but he's from that light up series, the LED series. And there was a regular version, but... And we're also completing this set. Again, very satisfying to see the end of this, but really cool. I love that they included a stand for Swoop too. There they are. Like I said, very satisfying to complete it. All right, next we'll take a look at Blitzwing, and this was one of my more anticipated figures I was really looking forward to. They did this in the Defender line, so I assumed this was coming. Really nice paint deal. You got purple paint here, white and red. Decepticon logo, red for the eyes. Paint on the waist, paint on the crotch. They even went to the detail of putting wings on the side of his legs. Here's the back. You got more paint detail for the treads of the tank and for the turret of the tank. It just looks really good. He comes with his blaster done in gray and then his sword done in purple. Articulation is basically the same as the others. The shoulder pads do, go side to side. You can remove the gun or the turret on the back. And if you wanted to, you could cheat and put this the other direction. Have a different look, whatever. You can also remove the wings. The wings do have articulation here, and I knocked one off, but they do articulate forward and backward. They're just on a little peg there. So you can go back like that or forward. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. All right, next we'll take a look at Metroplex. And I saved this for second to last just because I thought it was really cool. He comes with a little mini Optimus done in just gray plastic. I guess so you can, have the scale that you want. But this guy has a ton of paint detail on it. On the shoulders, on the chest, on the face, on the legs, on the waist. I mean, there's a ton of detail. Even on the back, they put paint and detail on it. I mean, it's fully sculpted and detailed everywhere. It really looks good. I know it's a little strange to have a Metroplex that's the same size as all the rest of the figures in this line, and that's kind of how this Galaxy versions work, right? They're all pretty much the same size. But I do like it. I just think it's really cool. Articulation is basically the same. He does come with some extra guns here on the shoulders. You can rotate those. Head has the ears sticking out, but head movement is basically the same. Side to side, forward and backward, rotates around. He does have his blaster here in red. All in all, a really cool looking version of Metroplex. Happy they decided to make one of these. Alright, and last but not least, we have the Unicron head, which looks spectacular. It does come with a little mini Autobot ship, just done in yellow plastic. I haven't seen a spot to like peg it on or anything. You can kind of just sit on this stand here. It does come with a stand to display the head. This is a new armature here. So there's a ball joint at the end so the head can go forward and backward, side to side, rotate around. You can open up the mouth all the way up to there. I found it funny that they did the same thing as they did on the HasLab. They didn't paint the bottom teeth, so they're blue, which is, that's ironic. But here's the back. It's a very good looking sculpt. You got translucent green for the eyes. And just for fun, let's bring in the official HasLab Unicron head so you can see the difference. And I actually think the sculpt on this is really, really good. I almost think this looks better than this. The sculpt is pretty good. Obviously the size of this is much bigger, meant for that big figure. Also, as well, just compare these two. Here's the arcs. This one has some paint detail on it, but sculpt wise, pretty similar. So that's pretty cool. Like, I'm very impressed with how they did this Unicron head. So final recommendations on the Blokees Transformers Galaxy version 8. This is a really cool set. I have to say, every single figure that came with this set is an excellent figure. There's nothing that's like a repaint or I guess a throwaway character. Everything is either from the movie or from the G1 season 1 through 3. They're all really good. There's nothing here that I was like, yeah, this could have been done better. They're all really well done. I like the little inclusion of the bugs as well. Accessories are pretty good. I think if I was going to have a complaint, it would be that I hope they do a bigger Metroplex. You know, maybe like a combiner version like they did for Devastator. I know that's asking for a lot, but I mean, that's really it. I just think this is phenomenal. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. Strong recommendation. And that's not just because they sent it to me. It's because it is that good. This is a great set. So that's it for today. Stay tuned for the promo Unicron head and the arc. I'll be reviewing that next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.